Hello everyone and welcome back to a follow-up. I guess this could be considered a follow-up to Metroid Samus Returns, which is Metroid 2. There are a few unlockables that I wanted to take a look at, so that's what we're going to do today. On top of some news this morning that's breaking straight out of Nintendo, I want to bring that to you first, and we'll discuss that before we go any further. Let's see, I know I got it ready here, and it's a short video directly from Nintendo themselves, and we'll discuss it as soon as the video is over. Let's take a look.
皆さん、こんにちは。任天堂の開発の責任者をしております高橋です。いつも任天堂のゲームをプレイしていただき、誠にありがとうございます。今日はメトロイドプライムシリーズ最新作であるメトロイドプライム4についてお伝えしたいことがあります。私たちはメトロイドプライムシリーズファンの皆様が本作に寄せられている高い期待をよく理解しています。特に一昨年の E3 で初めて本作の発表をさせていただいた時にファンの皆様から寄せられた情熱あふれる言葉から実感しております。発表以降、皆様に何ら続報をお伝えできておりませんでしたが、その後も開発を継続した結果、大変心苦しいのですが、私たちがメトロイドプライムシリーズの続編となるこのタイトルに求める品質には届いていないという現状をお伝えせざるを得なくなりました。任天堂は常にゲームの品質を追求していますし、開発段階ではそのレベルを満たすものかどうかを日々問いかけ向き合っています。私たちが納得できる品質でないなら、それは自信を持ってお届けできませんし、ファンの皆様の期待にお応えすることもできません。このような観点から本作の開発の現状は誠に厳しいものであると判断し、この度開発チームとして難しい決断をしなければならなくなりました。それは本作の開発体制自体を見直し変更することです。具体的には我々はプロデューサーの田辺とともにオリジナルのメトロイドプライムシリーズの開発を担当したアメリカのレトロスタジオと互いに信頼し合い協力して開発を一から再スタートさせることにしました。そうすることでこのゲームをファンの皆様の期待に応えられるものにできると信じています。私たちはこの決断を軽々しく行ったわけではありません。開発を最初からやり直すことに近いことになりますので、当初の社内計画よりも完成が遅れてしまいます。これがメトロイドプライム4の発売を待ち望んでいただいている数多くのファンの皆様を失望させてしまう決断であることはしっかりと認識しております。皆様には発売が遅れてしまいますことを心よりお詫び申し上げます。私たちがこのゲームの進捗状況を次にご報告できるのはまだまだ先のこととなり、開発には長い時間が必要になってしまいますが、完成した暁にはこれまでのメトロイドプライムシリーズと肩を並べられるように開発してまいりますので、任天堂とレトロスタジオを代表して本件につきましてどうか ご理解いただけますよう心からお願い申し上げます。ありがとうございました。
So there it is. The game will be delayed. Now, I sent this to a friend of mine this morning as soon as I saw it. He was a little upset. I'm not. I'm thrilled. Take 3 years to make the thing if you have to. I want it to be the best game that it can possibly be. And I don't mind a long development cycle as long as the game lives up to my standards and Nintendo's standards. And it seems like they made a call. And this is something I've never seen anybody do. And that's what kind of perplexed me was Metroid's not Nintendo's most popular IP. If I were to walk out into the world and talk about Metroid with people, most people have no idea what Metroid even is. It's popular amongst Nintendo fans though, so if you talk to a Nintendo fan, they would immediately know what you're talking about. The weird thing is, this is, we haven't had news for 2 years. They announced Metroid Prime 4 at E3 2 years ago, and they haven't told us anything since. And then this comes out of nowhere. But again, to me, it's good news. Take it back to Retro, let them work on it and develop it. They worked on the others, because we've shot through almost all of the Metroids so far. I mean, you have Super and Fusion, and we're doing those on anniversary dates, and then there's Other M that'll be squeezed in after Super Metroid. Prime Hunters we're not going to be doing. It doesn't really cover anything important out of the Metroid series. This is more of a story about Samus hunting down a weapon, I believe. It's not incredibly important to Metroid, because Samus is not my favorite part. She's not why I love the Metroid franchise so much. I love the Metroid franchise for the atmosphere, the music, the creatures, the critters, are very fascinating to me. It's like being able to play the Alien movies in a video game without it being any of the Alien movie video games, because those are just terrible. But that's the news that come out this morning, and again, I see it as a positive. I have no beef with Nintendo whatsoever of this, no qualms with this. There is something else, though, that we'll be taking a look at here. Let me throw it up here for you on your screen. We are going to be taking a look at the Chozo memories. Now, if you played through Samus Returns on the 3DS and you cleared a certain percentage, then you started unlocking pieces to a puzzle, and when you collected all 4 pieces, it came together to make one entire picture. Now obviously I didn't collect everything that there was to collect in the game, so I thought we'd come over here and take a look and see what kind of backstory it has to offer. Our first shot would be, I'm assuming these are Chozo elders here. The focus of the shot are 3 Chozo, the 3 Chozo that have landed from a starship on the surface of SR-388. Behind them are 4 more Chozo investigating their surroundings. The main trio seem to have been talking amongst each other. Curiously, the 2 on the sides have identical attire, yet the middle figure is dressed in a less refined manner. The middle figure holds a glowing orb resembling an item sphere, and their overall pose resembles that of a Chozo statue. Basically, the Chozo are here collecting the ion. In the foreground features 4 creatures watching. Besides the starship, the Chozo landed with the sky houses 3 other ships. They have a different design than the main ship, favoriting a vertical alignment rather than horizontal. The ever-present aurora is practically vibrant in the night sky, and a black hole can be seen to the right, partially obscured by the surface of rough terrain. In the front, there's a Chozo scientist collecting the ore dropped by a dead enemy. I don't know the names of all these enemies. Hornode? Many Gulugs are seen feasting on other Hornodes. some even lifting them into the air. Okay, and those are the creatures that we saw a lot of, the little frog creatures and the weird bats with screws on the bottom of them. And here we have another Chozo scientist. He's investigating the ion in a holographic structure. It can be seen around the Chozo's arms. Many subterranean caverns with water and stalactites can be found in Area 2. This evidence suggests that Area 2 is the setting of this particular image. Alright, in this image here, in the front right, 3 Chozo scientists are present, 2 of which are analyzing a couple of, I can't pronounce that, smori, and 3 unknown insects. Behind them is a large number of robot smalls and robot bigs. These robots are marching out of the large complex featured in the area, with the Diggernaut sitting at the entrance. The Goliath is seeming to be inspected or worked on by 2 Chozo engineers. And then you have a couple of those flying enemies around. Overseeing the marching Diggerbots is a squad of Chozo soldiers in battle armor, with the iconic Variasuit shoulder pads. They bear glowing blue shields, diamond-shaped and as tall as Chozo themselves. In the lower part of the caverns, the Chozo watches as some Diggerbots tear through the earth and uncover a bright yellow substance, possibly ion energy, illuminating the underside of the nearby rocks and walls. So when the Chozo came here, they were investigating the ion. But beyond investigating it, they started mining the stuff out. 3 hornodes are in varying stages of infection from the X parasite. We'll get to what the X parasite is in a moment. Pre-infection during the processes and the resulting infected variant. The caverns are flooded with the X, and some have taken to attack the Chozo. A couple of parasites can be seen splattered against the soldiers' shields. The X seem to glow, as seen on the surface of surrounding objects and uninfected hornode. But the glow intensifies when the parasite overwhelms its victim. Okay, now, the X parasites were introduced in Metroid Fusion, and we haven't gotten to Fusion yet. So if you know Metroid and you know what the X parasites are, that's fine. But for those of you who don't know what the X parasites are, they are, to my knowledge, they're only found on SR388. At the moment, that's what we know. They're extremely dangerous. They attach themselves to you, and they take over completely, and it kills the host, I believe, and it turns you into this ravenous monster. Now, the X also have this tendency to, once they've collected DNA, they can replicate, and they can mock or mimic another creature. They don't necessarily need the creature after they have the DNA. They pretty much can spontaneously, if enough of them gather, can just recreate the life form in question. Now, it looks to me like the Chozo came here studying. They decided to mine the ion ore and began to find themselves attacked by X parasites. Now, what do you do when you start being overwhelmed by X parasites? You make Metroids. Yep, here you'll see they are creating a Metroid. The room is a laboratory with an open chamber in the middle that is filled with strands of green cohesive substance. The same substance is covering the creature that is in the focus of the shot, a Metroid larva. Metroid lava, oh god. Surrounding the released Metroid are Chozo scientists overlooking the creature and equipped. Oh, equipment. Derp. Who put me in charge of this? Display monitors featured X Parasite, a Metroid, a planet that's possibly SR388, one with indeterminable text, and a last one with an object that is difficult to identify. In the background, more larvae can be seen incubating in chambers. So yeah, the Chozo created the Metroids to combat the X Parasites. I assume so they could go about harvesting the ore. The thing is, the ore thing is new to the Metroid series. Even though Samus Returns is a remake, we haven't seen the ion abilities in any other game, to my knowledge, and kind of stretching here, in my opinion, to make lore for a game that really hasn't had much lore in the past. Which I guess that's fine. You want to go back and add to it and kind of make it a flushed out thing. Alright, moving right along. In this picture here, you'll see that the X-Parasite are being devoured by Metroids. The Chozo scientists and soldiers can be seen in the background. In front of them are the chambers from the lab opened. The Metroid larvae are flying out in said chambers and attacking the X and their mimics. There are a couple of Metroids with X inside their talons and one that is actively draining the energy from the X-infected Hornode. This scene takes place in a desolate canyon-like area with large bones visible in the background. This evidence suggests that Area 6 is the setting of this image. Alright. So they didn't waste any time getting the Metroids out there on the field to start consuming the X. But here's where things are about to start taking a turn shortly. Two Chozo scientists stand over ground with cracks that seep yellow light. Behind them are more Chozo scientists that are observing a spherical hologram, likely of the planet. The Chozo warrior watches the Metroids that are floating above with its shield rays, one of which is attacking the Soul X-Parasite. Robo-Smalls and Robo-Bigs can be seen in the background, and Diggernaut looms overhead. Yellowish green light can be seen pouring in through the cavern roof. This evidence suggests that this Area 1 is the setting of this image. Not much more can be said about that image, it just is what it is. Here's where things take a turn and get ugly. Metroids have metamorphosed. They've transformed, basically. Metamorphosized. The larvae have fallen to the floor. Alpha Metroids are shedding out of them. That's terrifying. The recently molted Metroid husks still lying on the ground are partially covered in green substance. Once tame around their creators, the creatures have gained severe aggression and are now attacking the Chozo. Two Chozo soldiers have fallen to the creatures in this shot, one of which is in an alpha's jaws and the other knocked out of the side of the cliff. Other knocked off the side of a cliff with an alpha chasing after them. One warrior wields a spear in defense, while two more escort the overseers out of the area. The yellow light is very prominent in this shot, once again coming up from the ground and illuminating the underside of objects. Now, it's unclear here why the Metroids turned. It's also unclear as to whether this is a standard thing for the Metroids. I believe I read somewhere that Metroids will not go through their entire evolutionary chain on every planet, that the environment needs to be conducive to evolution before they'll start going through their phases. Here you'll see a purple picture with the seal. You guys remember, if you watched my playthrough, the seals that we had to collect the Metroid DNA to get the seal to break and open. Two Overseer Chozo are on the podium in front of the seal. Three warriors brandishing spears hold back the invading Gamma Metroid while the room is filled. One looks back towards the Overseers. Only one Chozo seal with the maximum 10 slots is seen in the game in Area 3. This evidence suggests that Area 3 may be the setting of this image. However, this may be excused by artistic license, since none of the ornate structures seen around the Chozo seal in this memory match the environment of the Chozo seal in Area 3. So, they begin filling many chambers of the planet with this purple ooze. 6 Chozo overseers and scientists, the center's arms outstretched, are seen communicating with the new Chozo figure having returned to the surface. The new figure's attire is simple: an ornate headpiece, draping cloak, and a plating-covered arm. Only the Chozo's left arm is outstretched. The right one is folded up over the left side. In the back a battalion of Chozo soldiers can be seen at attention. Above the crowd is a starship with the same design as the one seen in the first memory. However, the ship's thrusters are active. On the right is a large black structure with a blue glow at the top, and another can be seen in the far back behind the battalion. So here you can see, and I know these pictures aren't very big. There's not really much I can do about that because like I click it, it's not really gonna get that much bigger. Alright, when it's unlocked, the triumphant prologue music comes to an end and a distorted screech sounds. The colors on Memory 10 are replaced by an ominous red tint, and heavy contrast distorts the image. When it refocuses, a new picture labeled 2D. Don't ask me why, I don't know why it's 2D. 10, the first time it was viewed, appears that keeps the red and black coloration. An eerie track plays over the scene before the memory fades, but does not play when the image is viewed subsequently. The 6 Chozo overseers and scientists lie on the ground, dead or dying, with smoke rising from their bodies. The Chozo commander, the same individual introduced in Memory 10, is turned towards the battalion, arm outstretched while issuing an order. The Chozo's right arm bears an arm cannon like Samus's, smoking from recently being fired. The warriors continue to stand at attention, unfazed by the events before them. The motivations behind this are unknown. In the trivia section, we'll shoot through this real quick. It says, Memory 11's implications of a malicious group of Chozo is the first to depict the bird-like race in this manner, as they have always been instead described as benevolent and good-intentioned beings throughout the games prior to Metroid Samus Returns. A non-canon narrative story called Blood of the Chozo, released by Nintendo Power, focuses on attacks by a radical group of Chozo calling themselves the True Chozo. According to Sakamoto, the last memory is implying something about the Chozo's fate, but for the time being would like to keep the fans guessing. So, I wonder if Nintendo has future plans for more Metroid games that would fully flush out the Chozo. You know, since my handle is ChozoLore, I obviously have always been fond of the Chozo. You know, people have their space, their sci-fi that they like. Mine happens to be of the Jurassic Park variety and the Metroid variety. And when I'm not heavily focused on those animals on their respective islands, I'm focused on Metroid and what's going on in the Metroid universe. Again, it's kind of why my entire channel was focused around Metroid from the get-go, is because they're really fun games to play. I like the environments. The desolation feeling of the desolation that you get is right up my alley, since I kind of spend a lot of time alone anyhow playing games. So with all that being said, that's as brief as I can keep it look at the Chozo memory section of the game. I am on the Wikitroid website. You can go there if you want, fully check it out. Otherwise, I think that's about it. That'll pretty much sum up my complete coverage of Samus Returns. And, you know, when we get to the beginning of Year 3, we'll play some Super Metroid. In the meantime, we do need to play through Prime 3, and that'll be done sometime this year. I don't know when I'm going to start on it. I had anticipated playing through Prime Hunters, but that didn't quite work out so well, and I did it. Alright, well, that's going to do it for me for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit different, and it was fun to be able to use the webcam for a change. But that's going to do it for me. See you, folks.